Okay, James Roper. Do you think reptilians were on the earth first and humans came and drove them underground? This is a good question, James. So this is the most common belief system in the New Age about reptilians. And when I was first having these psychic experiences and I was, seeing different interdimensional beings and just getting awakened and aware to everything that was going on, I read everything that I possibly could. And I just wanted to know what I was seeing. And I did see reptilian beings. And of course, one of the first things I came across was David Icke. And I don't know if David Icke teaches this, but he was the first person to really, I think, confirm that these interdimensional beings exist. And by the way, there's so many unusual looking interdimensional beings, and any shaman worth their salt will tell you that. When you start going into the astral plane, it's not just like, it's not just exactly human. There's lots of different types of divergent beings that want to attach to humanity. And part of these divergent beings, like reptilians are a divergent being to us humans, is they want to stay parasitically attached to humanity. So what they'll do is they'll lie. One of the things that negative interdimensionals do, or interdimensionals that are fundamentally negative, which means that they have a parasitic history with humankind, and there may be positive reptilian beings, or there may be positive grays, or there may be positive versions of what we view often as negative ETs, but the negative element is extremely strong and cannot be overlooked, if you will. So one of the things that more negative interdimensionals or parasitic interdimensionals do is they lie about human origins. And the reason why they lie about human origins is because they want humanity to not understand that they're divine. They want humanity to think that they are either the owners of the planet or gods to humanity. And what this does is it actually binds the reptilians, or even especially the grays, to humanity. And humanity begins to basically believe that reptilians were on the earth first, or that grays are these amazing spiritual teachers, and that they don't have any negative history at all with humanity. They've never lived parasitically off humanity at all. And so there's always an origin myth with negative interdimensionals, where they place themselves as the original beings on the planet, or as gods that seeded the planet, or something like that. And this is because they want to bind themselves to humanity. This doesn't have an ounce of truth in it. So when I first had my experiences with interdimensionals, I believed this, mainly because I didn't have anything else to go on. And when you're having experiences and you're seeing interdimensional beings and you don't know what to think, you have to have some kind of structure. You have to have some kind of understanding of what they are to play with in order to kind of dive in and sink in. And so the first beliefs that we have about negative interdimensionals, or I want to be very clear, interdimensionals that have a deep history of parasitically living off of humanity, not enlightening humanity, but parasitically living off of humanity, like reptilians have and like the grays have. What ends up happening is, well, to make a long story short, you have to believe something. You have to have some kind of belief. But as the more that I did this work, the more that I got into it, the more that I interacted, the more I formed my own opinion about it. And I realized that that thing about the reptilians being on Earth first is a myth that they use to bind themselves to the Earth. and thus bind themselves to humanity because they live parasitically on it. So that is what I will say about that. This is the human beings, us, and there are many different colors and there's many different types of human being here. We are the human beings of the earth. We are the expressions of the earth. We are the keepers of Gaia. And we have been growing and evolving with Gaia over a very long period of time. And this is why we all look different, and we all are so unique, and there's so many different unique areas on the planet. You know, we've got desert, we've got boreal and tundra, we've got rainforest. We're very evolved, and we're a very involved human. And we are the keepers of this earth. And any being that tries to tell you differently, I would not personally believe. Because again, there is a binding by making you think that you are not the humans of this earth and they are. There was this great battle that took place and humans don't really belong here. I have a whole lecture to probably do on reptilians to explain, you know, what, in my opinion, they really are and what's really going on, what I've seen in my work, but I won't get into that this evening because we have other questions. But long story short, no, that is the common narrative, and I don't agree with it. There's a lot of versions of galactic history and various different things that are, I think are basically propaganda. And we also have to remember that when a being fails an initiation, they become degenerated. And they often turn towards transhumanism or severe DNA modification to survive. Because when you fail an initiation, a planetary initiation, you are set to basically die and then go into another reality. And they avoid death, and so they modify their DNA into different types of humanoids, and they also will merge with machines. And this is to try to survive even though they are technically dying because they failed the initiation. They're no longer tapping into the pure essence of the cosmos anymore. We really need to understand the difference between divergent humans and the various forms that they can take, and organic humans. And it's not that divergent and organic beings can't form some kind of connection. But divergent beings will always be a pure connection. They'll never be a teacher connection because they never passed the initiation that we face. They failed it. So they're actually more degenerate than us emotionally and in various different ways, but have high technology. And then there are organic beings and organic humans that have passed this initiation, and within their body they can generate very high spectrums of energy and they can initiate us into that. But if you haven't passed this initiation and you chose transhumanism or you deformed yourself, you can't actually generate that energy, so you can't initiate humanity. Okay, and so I have more on this in my Christ stream or my Christ Impulse video.